Hey everybody, just got the, what I expect is the OPXY in. Figured I'd open it up and start messing with it. So hopefully this will be a, not that I ever wanted to do an unboxing video, but what the heck. Let's see what we got here. I actually saw FedEx drive by and I thought they were going someplace else. They usually don't show up until later in the day. So they must have dropped it off because nobody rang the doorbell. I thought I was going to need to sign for the package, and nothing. So it was just sitting out in the cold, but I expect it'll be fine. Definitely a different boxing from the OP1 here. Inside seems to be the familiar styrofoam though. Come on. Doesn't want to slide loose. There we go. I'm not quite sure why it wasn't sliding out, but we're almost there. Hope everybody out there is having a good day. We've got the usual suspects of the Velcro. The heck is this? It says just recycle with paper. I don't know. Manual, more stickers for Velcro. Seems fine. Nobody cares. Let's get some power. Yeah, it's kind of like Christmas morning. I don't know, people were saying that the width was different, but it seems this pretty much the same size as the OP1. I have to imagine the bags and stuff fit. All right, let's switch over. Seems like they're going for at least some similar kit style to 2 kicks, 2 snares or claps. So it's at least been kind of programmed similar to the OP1. I know that we got different samples and stuff here, but let's play the demo, see here. Okay. I guess that's a thing. How do we change tracks here? Looks like double tap is switching. Actually, let's go check some of the other kits. Oh, these are just the tracks. Okay. Find the CV track. I don't think so. There might just not be anything loaded here. Shift. The buttons do feel a little stiffer. Not necessarily a bad thing. Oop. So shift allows us to search categories. So what we're doing? Oh, engine or category. All right, that's just how they're organized. That's actually kind of nice. Because then you don't have to worry about what the synth is. Is the camera off? I don't know. I can see it right now. I can get my iPad and check the stream, but there's there should be two cameras here. I guess the one that's in front is kind of cutting off the top of my head, but let's see. Make an adjustment. And I can log into my own stream and see if we got an issue here. Mute, just so it doesn't start doing weird feedback loops. Oddly, I haven't gotten the email saying I have my own stream going. I usually get that. Well, if Crazy Wabbit can see, I'm assuming this should be okay. What are you not able to see? Anything? You're just getting a black or blank stream? Can you hear audio? It's weird that you're getting no video. I don't know what would cause that, but you'd think that the Pixel 7 Pro would be perfect for YouTube, but I guess the streaming stuff's can go weird. Was it Shift? We've only got 3 players. That's kind of arpeggiator should be fine. What's Maestro do? I have no idea. I should have read the manual more. I did read it through it once, but I feel like I've forgotten everything. Yeah, welcome to technology where anything can go terribly wrong. I always tell everybody, I mean, I've been working in tech long enough. I always tell folks, I'm honestly just happy and excited when it does work at all. So. I don't know what Maestro is supposed to be doing here. All right, so I don't know, it's probably super, let me zoom in here because the screen's super tiny. But you can actually see the keyboard where the key groups are, which is kind of cool. See how much bigger I can make this. Yeah, up on the top here, it's bouncing around. You can see what key group it's using. What part do you think you're going to use deoxit on for the OPZ? Because if it's the buttons, if you don't, unless you've removed it, the buttons have a plastic layer. So you've got like the, it's a film that goes across the top. So if you spray deoxit and you're thinking you're going to get it into the switches for the buttons, it's not going to get in there. Like you have to really take it apart. what I found for the Z is if you just keep hitting the button that's double triggering like 50 to 100 times, just kind of hammer on it, it'll sometimes free it up so that it'll work better again for a while. I saw somebody had taken the whole OPZ apart and they removed like it's basically like these little metal caps and they removed them all and then soldered it onto the board and supposedly that fixes the double triggers, but I don't know, that's a lot of really small soldering and button work and I don't know that I have it in me to do that personally. I haven't looked at the knobs to see if they could do something similar. All right, let's get back to what we've got here. We don't need it might have been placebo. Maybe I'm wrong too. I may be wrong. Okay, yeah. I wish there was something on the buttons here so you'd know where you were in the steps here, but we get what we get. You want to know how the XY will pair up with the M8? Well, we'll have to. I definitely will play around with it. I'm curious. I suspect that the M8 is going to be far more programmable for doing things, but that doesn't mean that there aren't fun stuff we can kick over to it. So my M8, I was actually working on with the M8 on DiBiase's Discord. They just posted the new sample to flip, and I was using the M8 to kind of mess around with it. I might get it out and record it in here at some point, kind of see, but I don't know. I'm going to play around with this for a bit first. Oh, wait, we want... Now, let's get rid of that. The shuffle? I don't know. I see we got like a little... You can't see very well. Wonder if I can do my blanket trick. I think there's too much background light, but there's a mark here indicating, I'm guessing, that it's sending clock out of either the MIDI or as like a gate. Not sure. Oh, I was... All right, I mean, that was like super easy. That's what I expected, because I mean, that's how you do it on the OP1. So just hold down record real quick and drop it. Now, I wonder if there's a quick way to duplicate the bar. I don't know what I just did. That was neat. That doesn't get us what I expect to be 2 bars. So this is quantization, groove shape. How do we... Now I really don't know what I'm doing. Two. This is just changing the speed that it's playing at like you would on the OPZ. Okay. That's actually kind of cool. Wait. Yeah, okay. Nice. So if you want to switch up a track, you can run them differently. Nice. Let's see, I know I got a USB-C cable here somewhere because I needed it for recording some videos this morning. All right, I'm curious already how well we can hook these together. All right, it's picking up the clock from the OP1. Maybe that's fine. So it's sending MIDI to there. Shift-COM, MIDI. Let's change to 16. I know there's like no reason for me to be playing the keyboard here necessarily, but what I wanted to do was get some audio. That was stop. That's just microphone. This I know is a piano sound. We're not getting it over. Okay, just the black knob there. That looks like USB. There we go. Didn't expect the volume knob to do anything, but all right, so transport controls should my track though is over here. Let's bounce out. Go in, out. We'll stop. Why are we not playing? I just want to see if this will sync, but okay, so stop works, but play does not. That doesn't make any sense to me. Let's get out of this. Now we're back to controlling the OPXY and not sending any audio. There's probably something here I need to know. MIDI CV input. Should be able to hear a piano. Still not getting it. I'm going to do it this way. And welcome, Cresshead. Sending MIDI is fine. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. This is just effects. And back. Okay. Okay, so this is a show. Wow, this is like super cool. You can, I'm sure everybody has wanted this on the OP1 forever, but you can cycle through your slots and see your sample slots and record it. Presumably you can record over it. I've wanted to do this a million times on a OPZ or OP1 and probably OPZ drum kit and never been able to do it. So this looks pretty handy. All right. Still not, I want to figure out how we can send audio over and then get a tape in sync. Because I play, and nothing happens. I don't understand why the stop transport control is the only one working. Super weird. No, we don't want to be in controller mode. We want maybe MIDI, maybe. Clock, I want to send notes. Other, maybe off. Notes, we'll turn notes off for the time being. Because then at least we'll know that we're not playing anything else. So it's not sending either. Shift comm isn't doing what I want. It's okay. Let's see. System controlled devices. Charge. Might want off. Yeah, I think I recorded that piano. Actually, maybe it was one of the default OP1 pianos, but I know I've recorded some stuff off of the Triton Studio, which is currently dead. It won't boot. It just comes up to a white screen, and I had to order some parts from Germany to see if I can fix it. So, all right. System, clock, battery, legal probably isn't what I need. Go back, control devices. So it knows that it's connected to the OP1. Wonder if we want timestamp on. Stop works. Play does not. Let's set clock in. Nope. Well, maybe somebody else out there has figured this out and will be able to tell me. I seem to be missing what's going on here. Devices, back, control. No. Uh-oh. System, MIDI, clock in, active track 1, echo. I'm assuming that's just a repeat, or if you wanted to go like through mode, clock in. I don't know. Let's go the other way. So we can go clock out and do a clock in. Okay, we're slower speed, which is what we would have expected. Move to the tape. So if I stop, double tapping. Okay, this is where it's going to be a problem, is the OP1 isn't taking that double tap stop to reset the point for the tape. And the speed is different as well. So the tape is now the wrong length, which is also a problem because we're playing the tempo at a different speed. All right. Wish me luck, and check metronome. It has been 160. Just to keep my sanity, I'm going to move this to 160 at the moment. We will come over here. Yeah, I don't know. It can be a real bear to figure out what the heck's going on with them. And they usually don't document like, this is what you need to do to keep everything in sync. Okay, we're at 160. All right, I don't know, I just dumped some stuff on the tape that we can't hear. Okay, it's there. I don't know. We'll stop it. Man. That will be annoying if you have to keep this up so you can hear it. There's got to be a better way to do that. Clear. I don't know what I just cleared. Did we? Oh, I didn't lift. I thought I lifted that. I was like, why is this playing? It looks like I killed our bass drum. So now we have nothing here. Let's just throw a new one in then. No. It's not that hard to do, I guess. Let's get rid of this off of the tape. All right. Definitely need to be careful in here. Pitch bend works. So having this open is just getting us to the record page. Fine. I just know on the OP1 we can just have this open. Probably not the radio. Go to USB. Oop. Nope. Doing it wrong. Okay. It isn't sending audio out over USB. It's just going out over the speaker. Weird. Well, I am probably going to just have to hook it up using audio cables the way that I normally would. Okay. Let's see if this is the right cable. No, that won't help. This one might. Just need to get the knot out of it. All right. Go out. Find it weird it won't do audio, but I've seen worse. I think the middle one between the two is correct. Okay. Why is it receiving audio? Oh, probably because I have this open. Okay. Now it's not. Still not getting... So, there's got to be a better way to open this up. Or, let me go the other way. Take this out. Go in from here, out to the OP1, in. No, we don't want USB at this point. Now we want line stereo in. Okay. I'll just go backwards from what I was trying to do for the time being. And we'll see. I just want to see if we can get this to stay in time. So stop here, stop there. And, okay. I guess we play, so we get the tape going and the OP1 tape. What in the world? Did it? Right, because I've got... Okay. I just kept overwriting the audio to the tape from here. I'm going to lose my mind trying to figure out how to get this to work in a sane way. All right. let's stop again. Let's just record this to tape so we have something to play to. So we'll go record. Nope. Record and play. Why are we getting feedback? I can live with it being out of time at the moment, but well, that's definitely the wrong endpoint. So we're going to go out here. Stop. But I don't know if this is boring to you guys. I can do something else if you guys are interested, or if you guys are like, this is fascinating watching me struggle, then happy to show you guys. Ooh. My frames are dropping like crazy. I just looked at OBS, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna keep going. We'll see what's going. See if I think Spectrum must be having a moment for my internet. Oh, I gotta get out of here. Well, I'm definitely so far out of time. I don't think this is worth me trying to figure out at the moment. I'm just gonna... Looks like my frames are no longer dropped, so hopefully my video's back. Let's get to a more reasonable speed as I get into doing something different here. All right, that was easy enough. All right, easy enough to record a knob motion. That's fancy. That's right, we can do scales. I don't even know what scale I just played in. This is just our mixer, okay? New, paste, copy, config, tempo, voices, MIDI. Oh, this is all stuff I'm gonna have to dig into. Nice. You can actually define how many voices you have. That's kind of cool. Still not finding. All the projects that it comes with by default could be cool. This must be the arranger. I know I saw something for setting scale. I was just curious if it would do what we wanted. Okay, this knob allows us to control. I'll probably have this at MIDI all the time. CV sync audio. This is definitely a groove box for sure. It, as far as I can tell, has quite different synthesizers and effects from the OP1 for dropping down very quick like beats or sounds and getting like them on your timeline super quick. I still think that if I could figure out how to get the tape to sync between the two, I still think the OP1 has an awful lot to add and offer, because if you start maxing out your sounds on the OPXY, you can dump them to tape. I think there's interesting things you can do for arrangement and other stuff on the OP1, but I haven't quite figured out how to get it to stay in sync yet. Obviously, I don't know if you can see. You can see the timeline is bouncing, but I haven't figured out how to kind of... Oh, I know what's wrong. I have the speed it's playing at is wrong. Oh my gosh. So if you don't know about the OP1 field, on the tape, you can record something. So it's just going to keep overdubbing, which is totally fine. But if I go back into play, I can play it back at a different speed, which it can be like really cool, because this is something it's just very fast to do on the OP1 in the OP1 field. And I was messing myself up because I had this tape speed playing at the wrong speed. So of course it was going to be impossible for me to tempo match it. So, oh man, if you guys were watching me lose my mind, that would probably be why. So this should actually, if I get the tempo the same, drop it down. Actually, it's not now. I got to drop this to 96 BPM. Go back to tape, and we'll make it so we have start and stop points that are on the right points for the tape here. Now, transport controls should be working. Actually, I want this to be long. Let's go 2 bars. See if I can get this to work. Because if it does work, I think it'll be cool. If it doesn't work, then I don't know what to tell you. Oop. So this should stay in sync. And then, yeah, I can like switch to another track, no problem. So like I can just like be completely off the grid with the OP1 if I want, and then be have as much like actually sequenced as I want. Okay, this was all self-inflicted mental pain. So if you're wondering, I did it to myself. All right. I don't know that I want to keep any of this, but keep playing around. We can use the arpeggiator for this, sure. So I should be able to hold down record. Whoop. I don't want that there. Oh, we can lift that out. I'm doing it wrong. There we go. So it's just recorded the, oh, that's nice. That's because I don't know, that's one thing in the MPC that I go back and forth about whether I like it or not. This is knowing that I have the arpeggiator on and it's just recording the chord that I have, whereas on the MPC, when you record your arpeggiator, it ends up rendering all the notes out, which can be nice if you want to go in and edit everything, but I do kind of like this style as well because it's just recording the two events. If I want to add something else in, like halfway, if I want to change what this is, like I can just add in like another chord, no problem. Hey Bunker, how you doing, man? Ciao. Is that a hello or goodbye ciao? Well, we should be able to record a pitch bend in here too. Oop. It's a little hard to do with one hand here. Now I don't know how to erase that automation if I think it's terrible, but that's a problem for a different day. I think, is it shift to mute? No, shifts to load up like it is over here. I could just delete the, remove the notes. We got to figure out how to make this a more than one bar. That was not it. Shift and holding it down. Oh, clear. Okay, we can go back here because we got clear all. All right, back to 4. Still got that. All right, so we go bar, shift bar. Gives us clear all. Okay, that should clear that up. No, it's still got that pinch bend. So that's just clearing notes. Welcome back, Cresshead. Shift bar. I think this is telling me that we've just got 1 bar out of 4. We can make it shorter. This feels like the OPZ style, but the knobs are doing this stuff here. Not sure what 1, 2, and 4 are doing. Because this is telling us how quickly to play through. It's not getting me to more bars. Oh, plus. Okay, plus and minus. All right, so that should be 4 bars then, and it's telling us we're on the first bar. Yeah, I think there's other people that are better. It's what's the guy's name? He's been on like the OP forums doing OPZ stuff forever. I've caught a bunch of his videos. He's definitely like far deeper right now. But if you want to see somebody struggle, I'm the guy right now. Let's see if we can fill in 4 bars. Oh, that's step recording. Okay. Not really what I wanted. All right, barring having some notes that are in the wrong spot, it's 4 bars. So we can go clear all again. Oh, you gotta hold it down. I don't think I did that on this. Clear all. Maybe that will get rid of the pitch bends. Let's see. Just look at the arpeggiator on. Oh. Okay. Record and play puts you into overdub mode. So, Cresshead, I think what you want to do, if you want to do an 8-bar pattern and you want to do it the OPX style, I'm going to see if I can do this again correctly, but we'll remove this stuff. So basically you're going to want to go into bar and do plus. You're going to go up to 4 bars. And then this has what is it? Yeah, it's a 1,190, or no, 1,890, 1,920, because it's double the 960 parts per quarter note. So on the OPZ, what you would do would be to go from 1 to 2 to double it into 2 bars for being able to play more. So if you've got a 4 bar and you've doubled it, it's basically going to be, instead of getting that 1920 parts per quarter note, you're going to be at 960 parts per quarter note. But I think for most people, like, that's probably more than enough. So I mean, theoretically, like, let's go back down to 1 bar. This should now, with the number 2, with number 1, this is 1 bar played at 1 to 1. If we go 1 bar played at 2, then we should be able to, in theory, get this to be 2 bars. Yeah, so this is like, we've just made this 1 bar sequencer that's 1 bar. We're playing it basically at half speed, and I can still change this and make it like 4. So now it's going to be a 4 bar pattern. As I said, I think there's like some interesting side effects from this for things that you can't do on the MPC because it's recording the chord, not the notes to the track. I can do that kind of an extension for how long it plays for. And we can here. I didn't hold it down. I kind of let go around here. So, and this might not be like right on the start, but this should give you what, 4 bars, and you go. I think this is 10, so that should get you like 40 bars. Maybe at a low parts per quarter note, but if you don't mind, or you're going to be playing right on the dot, then you should be fine. Yeah, so I think there's plenty of ways to kind of extend the sequencer here and get more out of it without having to, whoops. I still haven't learned what the undo in is here, although I understand there is an undo. Shift minus, shift plus. No. I'll just record it back in. And then you can always go back to 1. And it's still playing the arpeggiator at the same speed. It's just playing the track slower or faster. Like, we can go to 0. Wait, 0's special, so it plays it at half, so it must be playing at like double speed. 9 is 16. Okay, so you can do 4 bars times 16, which will get you 64 bars. So, okay, 8 is 8. 7's nothing. 6 is 6. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Well, at Cresshead, I hope that makes sense. But it sounds like you've used the OPZ, or actually you said the JDXI. So I think, yeah, you can do some like different stuff here to really mix it up. And I can make it 2 tracks. I don't know how to duplicate from 1 bar to the 2nd bar yet, but it's got, hopefully it has that. Oh, I made this 4 bars. Let's knock it back down. Why is it not playing those notes? Did I mute the track? Might be a weird bug I just helped hit there without realizing it. Yeah, and if I wanted this, like I want that just on bar 2 to re-record it, but why does it say okay, I'm just doing math in my head wrong. Not sure. Okay, I think I got rid of them. Maybe I'll explain why I got it instead. I don't know. I mean, I literally just unboxed it, so I am not sure about a number of things on it, but I really, really, really have enjoyed the OPZ. And when I was like, oh, there's this OPXY thing coming, I was like, I'm not going to get it because it's not I want to get the OPZ 2. And as soon as I saw the specs for it, I was like, oh, this is probably as close as we're going to get to an OPZ 2 for now without it being called OPZ 2. I suspect they didn't go with the OPC naming because they wanted it to. I think it's a different beast. It does feel a little bit different from the OPZ. I mean, like the OPZ, you can drop stuff like super fast, but yeah, I think so far it feels good. I like the size of it. This is something I can definitely travel with a lot easier. I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time to learn it, but yeah, I will be honest. For the people that are complaining about the price, I don't know, it just feels like there's a lot of copium out there. Folks are just trying to figure out how to cope where they're like, I can't afford it. Fortunately for me, I was able to afford it. Probably will end up selling off some gear as a result to cover the price of it and kind of recoup some of that money. But I don't know. Like, I just feel like Teenage Engineering has been like a super easy company for people to hate on. I mean, the OP1 Field got the exact same level of hate that I've in like, I don't know, I'll say faux disinterest because it seems like a lot of people are actually interested in it. They just don't know how to afford it. It is a lot of money. $2,300 is a lot. Like, there's no way to disguise it. You can absolutely buy a lot of other gear, but I do think Teenage Engineering does a great job of kind of putting their products in a space that, for whatever reason, you can't find anything that does exactly what it does, whether it's based on the size, like feature set, or other things. Like, you can absolutely do what the OP1 is doing for whether it's the OP1 or the OP1 Field. You can get enough parts together and put it together, but it's not going to be the same size, and it's going to have still a different workflow. I do understand the price is super hard to justify, and yeah, I think yeah, I'd keep an eye on Amazon. I was able to. I'd ordered the OPXY and I reached out to Perfect Circuit and was like, hey, there's a coupon code for 10% off. So I was able to get $230 off. They just credited it back to my account, which is awesome. Definitely keep an eye out there. I think I've had to send my OP1 field in for repair. Once was under warranty, so I didn't have to pay anything for it. The second time I had to send it in, the OP1 field. It was the exact same problem, like this audio controller board. For whatever, I don't know if the ribbon cable came off or they ended up replacing the board. They said they replaced it, but it just seems like a crummy thing that they had to replace 2 times. But um, I don't know. I was like, I've invested enough money in this. I might as well keep it working and functional. I'm hoping that the OPXY ends up working better and being more reliable. That said, I don't know. I just I really liked the step effects that you get on the OPZ, and having them on the OPXY is really nice. Actually think that the sampler on the OP1 field is really good. So I haven't done a deep dive on what's here yet, but I really like the key groups on the OPXY. I think that'll be great to be able to bring in other synths and sounds. Um, I'm much more of a sequencer head than a, working in tape kind of head. So, um, I will probably be using the OPXY a lot more. I do feel like the programming here is it ought to open up some things that maybe aren't necessarily super straightforward to do on the Dirty Wave M8. But I mean, if somebody was trying to decide between the two, I mean, the M8 is an amazing little tiny thing, and I suspect it will compete quite well with the OPXY in a number of spaces. Um, it is only 8. I mean, it's technically 16 because it's stereo, but the Dirty Wave M8 is only, I'm going to say, 8 voice polyphony. You can only have 8 different sounds going. This apparently looks like it's got up to 24, so you can get a lot more done compared to the M8. But um, the M8 is super deep for programming. And as I said, I'm going to have to learn this and kind of get my head wrapped around a number of things. But I do think that having some of these extra hands-on controls is going to make a big deal. So I don't know if I'm helping you at all, Cresshead, or not. But I think for me, I was like, this totally makes sense. But I can absolutely understand people that are looking at this and saying like, $2,000 to $2,300 is completely insane. I think a lot of people got burned on the OP1 field. I think there's a ton of hype on it, and people didn't understand what it was going into it. For the very limited sequencers, the like openness of the tape to record stuff. So I think people that probably either got burned or didn't like the OP1 field's workflow may actually be like, if you're more into sequencing, I feel like the OPXY is going to be great. I suspect for like musicians that go out and are like doing like live performances and things, OP1 field's good and will be like totally workable for them. I do personally, I mean, I'm not going to sell either of these. I like the OP1 field because it really forces me to think about making music in a different way. The OPXY, I think, is going to be the comfortable, sample stuff and sequence it way. And I may end up trying to take the DiBiase sample that's up for session 15 and try and flip it in the OPXY and just kind of see what comes out of it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm keeping my mind open. So far, I'm liking what I hear, and I feel like the speed for recording notes sounds pretty good. Even if like what I'm making is not that terribly interesting. I don't know. I'm not like digging what's on this track. Maybe I just need a new sound. Didn't get that one in. try again. I guess that note's just too high or something. Oh, it might be the velocity sensitivity. Maybe I wasn't hitting it hard enough. There we go. It was released last week, and it took a week. I ordered it within probably a half hour to an hour after it was announced. I tried ordering it from B&H, B&H Photo, hit a bunch of order problems, and ended up ordering from Perfect Circuit. They, for whatever reason, didn't get their shipment until I think 2 or 3 days ago, maybe. I think it was like Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, got the notification it was shipping finally, and it came out. I mean, what's a week and a half in the long run? But I don't know. I think there's some YouTube streamers that got an early release of it, and they were able to get a hold of it. As I said, I wish I remembered the guy's name that is on OP forums that has like the how to use the OPZ thread. He got one early. I think it's awesome that he got a hold of it. Totally understand why Teenage Engineering would send him one, because he knows the OPZ inside and out in a way that I don't think most people do. For me, I just had to order it for myself and get it. So I think you're just seeing people kind of get it naturally because they were interested in ordering it. So I'd say I think it dropped like a week, yeah, like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I normally get things from Perfect Circuit. I'm on the East Coast, and things that come from Perfect Circuit usually come by train, so it takes at least a week for it to usually get to me. But had nothing but cool stuff working with them. Yeah, yeah. I ended up as Happy Quails is saying. I think that somebody posted on OP forums. I think it was OP forums that there at least was a coupon code for Perfect Circuit, EMMA, EMMA 10, so EMMA 10. I don't know if it still works or not, but it gave a 10% off. And a few people here have mentioned that they were able to find it at a reduced price on Amazon for $2,000. So I think if you dig around, you can get it cheaper. If you also are willing to wait, I don't know. We'll see how people kind of live with it and if they stick with it or bounce off of it and put it up on Reverb or whatever. But I know the OP1 Field was pretty quickly went from $2,000. You could get it used for $1,500, and it looks like it's starting to hit $1,200 for the OP1 Field. We'll probably see. Might take a couple, 2 or 3 years, but you'll probably see the OPXYs also get lower in price as people are like, this thing sat around, I never used it. So I don't know. For the mod wheel, there is it's probably hard to see on the camera here, maybe at the angle here, you can see it's kind of like it feels like pretty similar to the OPZ. Might not be doing anything for this one. I've seen a few since. So it definitely works. I feel like I got to push it harder than I'd like, but it does feel like you can kind of get some pitch bend out of it by just going left or right. Hopefully it doesn't fail like I've seen people say on the OPZ. Um, but it's not a strip, so it's basically like a rubber piece that you push on. Um, yeah. I hope that answers. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think people are just, I don't know. This is probably the next instrument that I will start messing around with. I've been trying to, if you don't know, I've got a million SP404, a million, that's an exaggeration. I've got about almost 900 SP404 Mark II videos. I still keep getting tons of questions on it, so I'm trying to still get stuff out there, but I've been trying to figure out like what's the next instrument that I want to really deep dive and learn. I got the Ableton Move and I like it, but I don't know that I got some. I got like what I call it, session 1.1 through 1.6 ish or something, trying to show like how to make a track on it. I don't know. Nobody seems to terribly care, and I might just end up using it by myself for fun. Similar to the OP1 field, I did some videos on it, but uh, they didn't seem like people were interested, so I just use it in my spare time. Um, got a fair amount of MPC videos, but I think the OPXY might be something that seems like there's a lot of people interested in it and learning about it. So maybe that's the next one I end up doing a lot of videos on. Haven't quite figured that out yet. So, but yeah, I think there's a lot of people that are interested in it. Um, I've been trying to ignore all the videos of people just complaining about how expensive it is because it's like, yeah, that's the reality we're in now. Is like just stuff's getting more and more expensive. So it's either something you want. The question should be: is it like for you or not? Not like is it too much or not? I mean, I get it, but I got too much. I got too many other things in my life than worrying about what the price is. Like if I can't afford it, then I'm not going to get it, and if I can afford it, I'm going to try and check it out. So yeah, I'd say absorb the streams, get a sense for it if you like it or not. And I mean, for me, I would say, and I think there's like some other great streamers doing stuff. For anybody that you think is interacting with folks, ask questions. I'm happy to try and answer absolutely as much as I can. And I am sure I'll be getting a lot of questions of like, hey, how do you use this to sequence the SP404 Mark II, or can you do cool stuff with it with the M8 or the MPC? For those folks, I will absolutely be trying to do my best to answer those questions. And I don't know. I've seen plenty of the I'll say hateful comments that some of the people are getting for trying to get information out there that's actually educational and helpful, and I will be trying to do my best to ignore those. But yeah, just keep up. I'd say keep up with it and see if you like it or not. But yeah, I did have to, as a Happy Quail saying, I did have to replace my audio board there a few times, which is kind of a bummer. But I do love the OP1 field. I think it's a great little instrument, even if it's maybe a little misunderstood in a lot of areas. Uh, let's go see about making a new unnamed track. What do we got here? So it should be empty. Oh, that's neat. So, I mean, this is just the habit I have to get myself back into because on the OP1, it's definitely hold down, record, hit play to get into overdub mode. I'm going to try and go as unquantized as possible because it's always my personal challenge is to try and try to see if there's like a volume difference here. I can kind of see on the meter here and here. Doesn't seem much different. All right. That setting is under metronome. Yeah, let's see if it's the same here. Well, there's no shift metronome. Com system. keyboard. Velocity hard. Is that what I have? I got hard over there. So it's got velocity on. I guess I can kind of pick it out. Yeah, go have some good food, man. I'm getting almost into lunchtime myself, and got some friends that want to play Diablo 4 for a bit, so I've convinced them to play hardcore, and we had a lot of character deaths, and I think I've gotten them to stop playing quite so fast, so we'll see how that goes. But I'll probably do that a little bit this afternoon. Let's try a different synth here. What was it? What was the magic to switch? Nope, that was not it. Shift and then the darkest knob to go to category. Let's go bass. Yeah, man, anytime. Feel free to ask, as you know, ask questions, and well, maybe you don't know. Cresshead's definitely on my YouTube channels asking questions and giving answers that are always helpful. So I just, as I said, happy to see questions from folks and do my best to try and answer stuff. And that was fairly quick for Mod Wheel. This is kind of a weird effect. That's too low. That was off. There. All right, I think I did that right. So if you hold down the note, what? Oh, it's showing me. Was that showing me where it was also coming? I think I get that. Let's go to another track with a different sound. I don't care for that. Try pluck's fine. All right. All right, that was pretty easy. You just hold the note or notes you want and tap on the timeline and it goes right in. No. Close. 4-1 there. All right, now I should be able to hold bar, make it go half speed. playing this note. This one's here. How do we know how long it goes for? All right, so it is like this is very like the OPZ. Hold the note, then you hold it down and tap how long you want it to go. It's a little, it doesn't feel, it feels about the same as the OPZ from that standpoint. So I feel like at least a lot of what I learned on the OPZ transfers over pretty well. All right, let's go. Which one of these is FX? Okay, well, we can. Oh, it's the brain? Is this one we got to program our scales and stuff? To answer you, if you were only able to make Game Boy music on the OPXY, I will say the same thing I will say about every other device when I get asked that is it's got a sampler in it. You can sample like absolutely anything you want into it. So it's kind of on the person making music. I'm really just kind of trying to explore the sound effects and stuff that are in here, but absolutely, like don't have to make Game Boy music or chiptunes or whatever. I wouldn't even put any of this right now in the chiptune category, although I understand what you're saying. So, yeah, it's really just a Groovebox sequencer. It's got like some synthesizers in it and stuff, but you can absolutely load in all kinds of other things. So, but if some of these sounds are not your favorite, we can do something else. I mean, for me so far, I have liked the sound engines. There's some things on the OP1 field that I like the sounds of more, I think. And it does feel like the effects on here are far more standard than... I think the ones on the OP1 field are more experimental. So, I don't know what's causing that to happen. Is it just the sound I have? Did I record over? What the heck is this? That's super weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Thoughts on the XY versus the field? I think if you want a tape workflow, go for the field. You're going to probably be much more happy there, although it does come with all of the annoyances of tape and working with real tape. So, I don't know. I think the OP1 field is going to push you, I think, most people outside of their comfort zone, and it's up to them if they are able to work with the OP1 field to, I guess, kind of live in the space that it's in. I think it still will complement. I mean, I like the OP1 field because it's just easy to hook up to just about any other instrument, either to record into or just play synths and stuff out of it. I think the OPXY is probably going to be similar for that, but it seems like it's got a great sequencer from the OPZ. So, do I think it's a serious studio tool? I think just about anything can be a serious studio tool. I don't know. I mean, depends on depends on your definition of serious studio tool. But I mean, I think people that want to work with the MPC, the SP404s or stuff, I mean, people have used far less to make music, so it really depends. Yeah, I mean, that's a hard one to answer. I think so. Maybe right now, people showing up with it, somebody might raise an eyebrow and be like, "What the heck are you doing?" But I don't think it's going to stop anybody from making a serious track like like people have with plenty of other instruments. Trying to catch up on the questions here. Um, Thoughts on the usefulness of the XY versus. I kind of went over that, but I think for people that are like acoustic songwriters in particular that are just looking to be able to, if you want to be able to play like freeform and you're not really as concerned about being on the grid, I think the OP1 field is absolutely excellent. I think for the, if you're like much more into a sequencer, you probably want the XY. The sequencers on the field are pretty basic, even though you can do some like as you start kind of layering things, you can do pretty complicated and awesome stuff with it. Um, Um, Hans, for the making a full jam on it, I mean, you got 24 notes of polyphony. That's kind of on you to do as much as you can with that. I come from a background of working with really old samplers and sequencers. So for me, having like a limit like the PO33 here, or like the SP202, where you just got like it's measured the amount of sampling times measured in seconds. I have absolutely no problem with that. So for me, there's like tons of breathing room to work with for the types of music I usually make. For folks that are looking to record, hour long sessions, and like if you're more into that DAW style where you just record, and then you kind of pick out those bits. I don't know that the OPXY. I mean, it's a sequencer forward first, so I don't know that that's going to work for those types of people. Um, the People have used cheaper and more expensive gear as serious tools. Yeah, absolutely. King of 9X. Uh, where's the 9X for? I'm just curious. Is it 9 times or is that something else? What I bring all kinds of stuff with me when I go out, so it just depends. I would have no problem bringing the field OPXY. The usually the more the question is would I be comfortable using it in an airplane? Because I've been kind of getting stuff that's a bit smaller over the years because I used to travel an awful lot and I'm trying to get back into it. But the MPC Live, which I have, it's like over here, and it's over here. Um, it's at that size where I'd say it's just big enough that I probably won't bring that with me unless I'm going to go like visit my parents or my sister or something where they're not going to care if I got this kind of big sized thing. SP404 Mark II is probably on the edge of what I would consider something that's backpackable and you still have room to get your clothes and whatever. These are the Field and the OPXY. I brought the Field with me to Brazil and had a blast with it. I was able to use the radio to dial in some local radio stations while I was there with my wife and visiting her family and stuff. And I don't know. I just had a blast with it. The music, I would say the quality of music I made with it was not as good as what I would do on something that's a more traditional sampler and sequencer. But as I said, it pushed me out of the comfort zone that I have for a lot of things. I do feel like the OPXY is going to be something I know a lot of people have been looking for like the MPC Mini or something, and I don't know. We'll see if Akai does something like that. But like for me, this is going to be pretty. I suspect it's going to be unless it's full of bugs, it's going to be pretty hard for companies to get something that's going to be as um, how do I want to put this as I guess varied in the workflow. I mean, you got your synths, you've got the sequencer, you got all that stuff, and I think there's just like a lot of cool stuff you're able to do with it. It's such a small package. Let me get the SP over here, but I don't know. Let's see if I can move it over without knocking everything over. It's all the cables are just so tight, but I mean, it's they're about the same length. Zoomed in a little too much. They're about the same length, but I mean, if you just start looking at it from like a thickness perspective and like how wide they are, it's like an eighth of the size of the SP404 Mark. Yeah, the SP404 Mark II. And I mean, even like the Ableton Move here, which I think this is like absolutely something you can throw in your backpack and work with. I mean, you look at this; it's like still, it's almost half the size. They're about the same thickness. I mean, I always prefer velocity sensitive pads over the keys, but um, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what Ableton does. I think with it, I think the move to me feels like it was released maybe a little early. Um, I don't haven't had the OPXY in my hands long enough to know. I mean, I literally FedEx just dropped it off this morning. I was like, ah, what the heck? I took the week off, and I was like, I can kick off a stream and just kind of goof around with it and see where anything goes. But it's a reference to hackers. I remember I loved that movie, and I haven't watched it in probably 15 years, so I'll have to go. Maybe I should go watch that again. Um, if you're trying to understand it, uh, I totally understand trying to get where it fits. And I mean, I have enough gear that technically, like, I don't need it. Like, I've got a stack of Akai samplers off to my left here. I've got the MPC, which is arguably, for the most part, it's an excellent sequencer, although there's still some dumb bugs that are in the MIDI implementation that are problematic. I mean, we all have phones and tablets and computers and stuff. So, I mean, it's not, I don't, to me, it's not replacing any of those things. But I, I'm a big, as I said, I'm a big sampler and sequencer head. So to me, this is something that I can use to sequence things internally. I suspect, even though I haven't tried it yet, that it will be able to sequence external gear just fine and do some cool things with it. If you haven't played with an OPZ, maybe look into seeing if you like know somebody that's got an OPZ or be able to find one. I suspect OPZs are the bottom's going to fall out on people just selling them right now because I think you'll see a lot of people trying to get them out there for 200 or 300 bucks. And even if you get like double triggers or the knobs are a little wonky, I still think that they'll at that level hold their value for a while. I mean, you probably need to play with the sequencers because it's very good at the OPZ is very good at you can just drop a pattern very quickly onto I'm gonna go grab my OPZ. I'll be right back. All right. So within the context of teenage engineering products, this this has got a skin on it, but I mean this is the OPZ. Who is it that makes the skin here? It's on here somewhere. Oh yeah, it's Oversynth. If you go look for Oversynth and OPZ, you can find this if you care. But basically, um, the OPZ breaks everything down to you've got your keyboard here, and it's also allows you to do your step components and things. So you can program on a per step basis uh, in one bar some very complicated things. And I'm gonna grab the M8 for a second, just so I have both of them. So, all right. If you're talking about how you're actually trying to compose and put music together, we're talking about like, especially like these two devices here, they can be as simple or complicated as you want to work with. The OPZ, basically you've got 16 buttons here that are basically your 16th notes on a 4 by 4 grid. Um, you can program in whatever you want for notes, and that probably sounds super basic, and honestly, it is. But where you get the power in this, and I'll talk about it also for the M8 in a second, is you can do things like program in on a individual note that you only want to play that note every 4 times that you've cycled through your bar, so that you can very quickly program in on one bar and have it actually become a 4 bar loop. So with that, and then you can start getting things like random. You start introducing some randomness. So like notes may play randomly. You can do ghost notes pretty easily, where you could say like on your one bar, every four notes, I want this particular note to play a little bit louder or a little bit more quiet. So you can get these very complex and generative sounds out of it. So if you're trying to approach this thinking, like you got this right on the OPXY here. I got my 16 steps. Who cares? Like, it's just 16 steps. They're not doing anything super interesting, but it's really when you start looking at like the ramping up and down and random and transposing things and having them trigger a certain amount of notes or things. That's where you start getting the complications in and making what might be a one bar. It may really be one bars or one, not polarized. It may be one bar, but it sounds to a listener like it might be four bars or I don't know, an infinite amount of bars. Similarly, it's kind of hard for me to. I don't have it. I'm not ready to show stuff off per se on the M8, but I think I can get close enough. You might be able to see a bit here. I have. This is actually the DiBiase flip I've been working on, and for example, see if I can get how close I can get before the focus gets crazy here. So I gotta adjust the volume up just so you can hear it better, I think. All right, so I'm gonna try not to shake too much and show you, for example, what I got going on here. So basically each track here is, I got track 1 is kicks, track 2 is snares, track 3 is hi-hats, track 4 is some like just random percussion, I think. That's like the crash and stuff. I've got tracks 6 and 7 are basically some samples it's just a different sample from what DiBiase's Discord channel that they posted for this number 15 or session flip 15. So I'm just going to show you like the snare drums. What it's saying here, where it says PH, that's your phrase. It's one bar, and I've just basically got this kick going. It's the same phrase 4 times in a row. So it's 4 bars. You can see here it's not doing anything other than just playing this kick. But what you can do is you can create what the M8 has a table, and each of these commands that are in here are every step as it kind of is cycling through, doing like the top one here is just doing a send delay. So it's taking the kick or the snare or the hi-hat and throwing it through a send to the delay. And if I stop playing, you can hear it better. The one here is if it hits this one, it's going to do a degrade of an amount of 0 to 3, which is where you might be able to hear some of that ringing sound. Let's see if I can turn it up even louder, a little bit more volume, just to make it easier to hear. The RET is a retrigger, which is causing it to take that sound and repeat it in that 16th note. I got a degrade here that goes instead of 0 to 3, 0 to 5. So it's a more extreme, it becomes a more extreme repeat or retrigger or degrade, sorry. And then the cut ES is basically doing a filter cutoff. It's basically like random. It's doing this consistently, but it's almost a random value that gets selected out of this table. I could put something in here for all kinds of steps, but I didn't want this degrading or other sound to hit on every step. I want it to mostly be on, with them empty, it's mostly just playing the sound. But if I come out, let's just stop it. I'm going to go to the hi-hats here, which you can see every hi-hat here is, I've done a pitch shift, so it's pitching it up and down a random amount. And it's also applying this table, which is getting like the different effects I was just talking about it's basically applying this to most of the drum sounds, where it's doing like filter cutoffs and retriggers and all kinds of stuff. I'm going to stop talking for a second and see if I can make it even louder, just so it's easier to hear. So it is allowing me to, as I said, in one bar or one phrase, get like a lot of variation and variety in the sound. I can program more in here, no problem, to get things going. Now, to like even show you here, so this is the original sound. Let me actually go into it. So, actually, this is not the original sound. I recorded it into and then pitched it down and then recorded it. But this is what I've got as the original sound. It's supposed to play. I basically dropped it down 50%, but as you can hear, it's like some strings and a little bit of piano chord, just being played as chords, right? Like there's nothing. It's not like super exciting going on here. But what I've programmed here in the tracker is it's going to randomly play different slices out of that. So you just get like this completely always changing sound. Hey man, well thanks for stopping by and take care. Feel free to drop in anytime. So yeah, this is just kind of playing all kinds of stuff. And I also, in here, threw in like just some different tables. So like for each note that plays, it's giving like just some different kinds of effects going. So, I mean, like all together, you get like this kind of evolving piece. So I'm not saying that, I don't know. It's hard to know like what you'd particularly yourself would be looking for, but the difference here, you're probably going to be like, well, you got the OPZ and the M8. Why would you bother getting the OPXY? Excellent question. First, the OPZ only has 64, I think it's 64 megabytes roughly of sample storage. So you really can't get a ton in here. And I mean, you might be able to see, I got like the flex issue where it's a little wavy. I got the OPZ wave going on, but besides that, I mean, the thing works fine. I really enjoy working on the M8 here, but the problem, I don't know, I like having keys for being able to program stuff in a little bit more sometimes. I don't, it's a easy thing to throw in a backpack and go work with, but I do think I'm going to really enjoy having like the keys here, being able to work on like step sequences, but it has, kind of like I was just showing on the M8, the OPXY has an awful lot of, the OPXY has an awful lot of different effects, not as many as that you get on the M8, but you have a lot of different things that you can have it do on different steps. And I don't know, I'm looking forward to deep diving into the programming and stuff. Yeah. Oh, Henry, I would say the OPZ it's an excellent sequencer. You can get an awful lot done with it. And unfortunately, it just has like certain kinds of manufacturing oddities to it, where you might get a little bit of a bend on it or something. It tends to work quite well with other devices. So you can use like the same types of things where you do re-triggers and other things on more fully featured samplers. And I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice here, but that's okay. It's almost lunchtime, so I'll drop and drink some water and have some lunch. But yeah, I don't know if you're curious about the OPXY and like would you like it or not. I think the OPZ is excellent as a starting place to play with, and if you're for the price, like you could probably get an OPZ and like a Roland P6 and have like, the P6 is in some ways limited sample time as well, but you can certainly load up the P6 with more. The OPZ works really well with the SP404 Mark II as well, from what I've used with it. I have tried pairing the OPZ with the M8, and you can do it. You can you can absolutely play the keyboard here and get notes into the M8, but these like keys, if they're buttons, they're not really great keys. They're not velocity sensitive, so it depends on what you're trying to get out of it. I actually have had much better success pairing the OP1 field with the M8. I will absolutely be trying to see how it works with the OPXY as I get some time to mess with it. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I hope that I feel like I've just talked like my voice out, but hopefully that's answering you guys well enough to kind of get a good sense for at least how I'm thinking about it. But man, this one's a weird sound. So, and to be fair, I have only had the OPXY for an hour. Whatever I started the stream is basically, so an hour and 40 minutes is how long I've had it in my hands. So like to program it and do all the things I'm talking about the OPZ and the M8 can do, it's going to take me some time to dig in and learn how to do those things. So if you're like, boy, you made this thing and it sounds super basic and doesn't sound like it's evolving or doing anything, that's because I'm going to need to take the time to learn how to do those kinds of things on the OPXY. Like I imagine it's not terribly hard. I just haven't figured out all the button combinations yet. So where I can do these things very quickly on like the M8, for example, and program it out, I haven't gotten. I'm very surface level at using the OPXY right now. So, like, I don't even know how. I'll figure it out. I just don't know how to get the step components in place yet and get those things in place. I just barely figured out how to go from 1 bar to 2 bars, which is you hold down the bar button and then you hit the plus and minus buttons. So there's definitely a ton that I need to learn here. So a lot of things I'm aware of that it can do, I just haven't quite figured it out yet. And I know besides the instruments that we got 1 through 8 here, I know we've got these auxiliary things. So we can pitch, like the brain here is allowing you to take whatever you played and then pitch it up or down for all the notes into a specific scale. So like that's something that you could do on the OPZ as well, but I suspect this is going to be more dynamic. So I'm going to have to, again, just play around with it and kind of see how it does things. Hold shift plus step. It will then flash. All right, well, let's give it a try. Let me get into, so we get this track, oh, wait, I'm doing it wrong, aren't I? Let's go shift, and then, all right, so we can do skip every second parameter lock. Probably doing it wrong still. Go random. I should probably just make a new track with nothing in it and then see what we can do. All right. Let's just do a boring old house beat. Let's get rid of the metronome. All right, so I want to double tap here, but I only want it probably need to get out of metronome. Hold that down. Shift in the note. That's not what we want. That's doubling it up. Just trying to read. Oh, every tonality, fifth up. Neat. Okay, that's just jumping. That's parameter lock component trigger. Skip every second trigger. All right, so it should do this every other one. Okay, yeah, so like you can, as I said, like it's quick to do, and as O. Henry's pointing out, it's the same as the OPZ. I should probably just take the, wrong way, read this on the back of the OPZ, and probably a lot of these things will work out no problem. Yeah, for those of you that are interested in the OPZ, it's not impossible at all to memorize all these things, but I got the skin because it makes it a lot easier to at least flip over on the back. I can kind of read and be like, oh, I want to do this thing. I know I can do it. How do I do it? It's fairly well organized, even if it's kind of dense for like what's on the back here. So, and on the front kind of tells you like, like the track names and things. So some of this will match fairly well for the OPXY, I expect. Some of it may not, but yeah, go to over here. It is Oversynth, maybe Oversynth Skins. They've got all kinds of different designs and things you can get. Is the only way to change step velocity, the step component for velocity. These are the key. I got it set up for hard velocity sensitivity. So I feel like I always figured on the OP1 field, the velocity sensitivity isn't as great as what you're going to get for pads. And I kind of get the feeling that it's the same for the OPXY as it is for the OP1 field, where if you do like it lightly, you can get kind of like between a light, medium, and hard. So like if I press this as softly as possible, it's like I can see it's like three marks, and I'm getting like 4 if I hit it hard. I can try switching it to soft to see if I prefer that. Keyboard soft. Let's see if we can get any. Yeah, I mean, I still say it feels about the same. I haven't messed with it enough to know how to go edit that. So let's see if we can figure it out. Let's shift this velocity. Let's go. Actually, let's go do some ghost notes here. So we'll do, I think that these are all 64 by default. Let's go add in a note here. Whoops. We'll add it, shift here. We go velocity. What am I doing wrong? Thought I was doing it right. Shift, velocity. Do I have to hold it down? Oh, yes, I'm doing it totally wrong. That's probably changing how long the note's held for. Okay, so I got this one's 16. You might have to just do a more extreme value change. Because like, let's go try this one. We'll go velocity. Let's go 32. Now it's kind of hard for me to like hear that. Let's go louder. They sound very similar for these two ghost notes. 16. Let's go down to, let's go to 4. So we can go louder. Yeah, I notice it's louder. So yeah, I think it might just be that it's not, it's more of a subtle difference. Let's see, do I have an external device that's easy enough to hook this up to? Let's try, my Triton Studio keyboard is currently hosed. Let's see if I can get the SP404 Mark II down low enough, but we should be able to plug it in. And I'm going to, ooh, we just lost audio. We just crashed. Okay. Well, I'm on the older firmware. I do need to update. So let's try again. Yeah, because I think that they're up to firmware 1.09 now. All right, well, also nice, it saves stuff. So let's stop, turn audio down. Actually, let's go to COM just to see if it sees the OP1. It saw it. It's not there anymore, but we got the SP404 Mark II. It's connected. We're sending clock notes and everything bidirectionally. So, we might need to move to MIDI type B because I'm not getting any notes sent here. Although I gotta check settings. Utility, system, MIDI, pad note out off. It is now on. There we go. I mean, I'm getting a velocity difference, but it's not as much as I would expect. Like, as the light a tap as I can do, we're getting like 3 bars there. And again, like the hardest tap is 4. It might just be the way that things are set up and configured over here. So we might need to dig into stuff like the envelopes or other features here. I'm gonna have to, I'm not gonna do that right now, but it's definitely taking the velocity data, but it just feels like we have a very narrow band where we're not like, I would expect this to be like almost quiet. Like if I go turn this up, turn the this down, maybe not that loud, we'll go halfway. Like I can very lightly tap this and you can like definitely tell the difference. And like that's what I was doing for the OPXY here, and it's just not, whatever the curve is, it seems like it's like fairly, like it's fairly high volume even at a very low velocity. So like I'm watching OBS and like I'm able to get like what is like the lowest hits like negative 35 dB to like negative 5 dB. So I'm able to get like a 30 dB swing here. I feel like this is, you know, yeah, I'm going from like negative 20 to negative 15. So based on like the lightest tap is negative 20 dB and the hardest one's negative 15. So the range that we're getting for velocity sensitivity seems like it's handicapped in some way. Hopefully there's a way to fix that or make an adjustment in some of the settings here, but that'll be something I'll have to just deep dive on later. Or it's going to require us, as we're recording things, to use some of the sample slots to get the quieter version of the sound. So you can get like real ghost notes and other things, because it seems like a very subtle difference right now. And I'm not sure. That's like the fastest way I can think of for how to get past that and through that. So I don't know. We'll see. Because I'm like, let's do that. We'll do this again. Let's program this. We'll go velocity. Let's go all the way up to, not random, 127. So that's going to be the loudest. And then we'll put another one here, and let's make this as, it did look like it said 0, but let's force velocity to 0. Let's see what that does. Okay, well 0 doesn't play, which is arguably not useful, but 4 is as low as we can go. So this is the difference between a 127 velocity and the lowest that you can get. Which is, yep, it's a 5 dB difference from 0 to 127, which is good to know. Hey, B Jammin, as you can see, got the OPXY. It showed up. FedEx dropped it off and then didn't ring the doorbell or anything, so it probably sat out there for like an hour. But I grabbed it and was like, hey, I got some time, so let's play around with it and kind of see what we can do here. Been doing some experiments, mostly to kind of see how things are working. Right now, you're seeing the difference in audio for a MIDI note being triggered at 127 velocity and 4 velocity. Yeah, I was supposed to sign for it too, so which didn't happen, but whatever, I got it. So yeah, kind of given up trying to get some of the stuff with the OPXY and the OP1 field working together. I was able to get the tape syncing working, but it's a little convoluted of a process to do, and I got to see. I still got to upgrade the OPXY to firmware 1.09. That might straighten some things out, but yeah, gonna have to spend some time playing around with it and see how it goes. Where else do we want to go with anything here right now? I guess we just keep building the track up. We might actually, you know what? We might be able to, let's do this. I'm going to just put down some hats here. So what we might be able to do is record, if we can get, figure out what knob it is for volume here. That's pitch. It's not going to be what I want. Start point. Actually, it's kind of interesting. So this is a old school trick, is recording start position. So we could record it won't let it record. That's a bummer. I was hoping we could do something fun here. Yeah, it won't automate it. Well, I know teenage engineering doesn't pay attention to anything I do, but if there happens to be somebody out there, I would love to be able to automate this knob. It would allow us to do stuff. So what I was actually just thinking was, if we can get the correct volume parameter, like we could automate this, but it's not automatable, which is sad because the Ableton Move can do that, no problem. But the automation, it automates, it is step-based, correct? So, but I don't think I can try and see if there's a way to do it. You can definitely automate some of the effect adjustments. Like if you're on so it seems like on the sampler, maybe we can't do it. But like, for example, like if I'm here, so I just recorded this. I can automate that. And you might not be able to see very well on the screen, but it's now automated the tone here. I just recorded that in. So I was hoping it would do the same thing for the sampler, but it looks like we can't do that. So since apparently we can record some of this knob automation, I wonder if this, I'm also wondering if this carries over to another synth, if it'll keep automating that. Let's try. Sounds like it is. So if we come back here, yeah, I can see you can see it's automating the display from, I don't know if the display has anything to do with it, but I can see that it does say shape now is changing values based on this knob automation I recorded. So, I mean, it's cool, but also feels like a bummer. Because it had done this, I was hoping and kind of expecting it would do it for the sampler as well. So that would be cool. Yeah, I gotta go. I've caught at least 3/4 of what James has put together. I keep calling him the OPZ forum, OP forums, OPZ thread guy, but yes, James, that's his name. Window bed. He's got some excellent content, and I will certainly be learning an awful lot from him and going back now that I've got the OPXY in hand and figuring out some of the stuff like how he's done it. He has a great thread on the OPZ, so if you guys get one, like definitely check out what he's been posting. He's done some great stuff that's been amazing. Um, the Given the steps, let's go back because it is possible that we can do something. Yeah, I feel like I got pretty good with the OPZ, but he's like sat down and figured out stuff that I'm like that is quite well after understanding what he was explaining and how it works. I was like, yeah, I totally get it. It makes sense and it's awesome that it does that, but I don't know I would have gone there myself. So yeah, he's definitely, guys, like go check out his content. I also feel like he's got a great, if you, I don't know if you appreciate my philosophy on any of the music making stuff, I feel like he's got a very similar, I'll say educator philosophy versus, I don't know. I've had people tell me I was an influencer, but a few times I'm like, I am not an influencer. I'm just trying to spread knowledge and information for you guys on whatever devices I've got and trying to help people learn how to use it. And I feel like James is absolutely in that same mind space. So definitely go check him out. Um, yeah, the OPZ, you have to keep it's. There's been things I'm trying to remember back into the OPZ. So yeah, the step press. I want to see if I keep the step pressed, can we adjust the start point? I don't think it's going to do it. No. I also don't want to listen to that weird beeping stuff anymore. So what I was hoping we could do is automate, even if the velocity step component here isn't doing what I really want, I was hoping we could automate this volume, or which it's the fourth knob. I was hoping we could automate this because this would be perfect. Is get this, kind of do a flourish or something at the end and then go back, or it is always awesome to change the start time, and you can get like so much more out of samples just doing those two things than you'd imagine. Not today. And I guess this is probably why I will go back and say I think I want to figure out how to get the OP1 field and the XY to work and play nicely with each other, because you could totally record that kind of automation to tape on the OP1 field and do as many takes as you need, and then if you wanted to, either dump it back into the OPXY, or you've now got it on tape where you've got like some of that more fluid sound transitions and things that might not be possible on the OPXY. And this is not me saying why anybody should justify getting a field. I mean, you could do this with the SP404 Mark II over here, or whatever other sampler you've got. It may even give you the ability to resample and do stuff, but I mean, I know we can do plenty of things on the OPXY by itself, but I'm also just saying, like, I think there's some reasons why I can see you might want to have some external gear to capture some of these things. I don't know if my setup is sorted. I wish I could show you. I need a behind my head shot, and you'd laugh at my desk. I actually, I don't know. I seem to have like a ADHD problem of how my desk is set up, and some days I come in and like every square inch is full of gear, and then like a month or two later, I will tear it all down and get it so it's much more open. You are currently seeing me in the much more open phase. I packed up my Access Virus and Iridium, and I don't know if anybody that's. I'm looking to the side because I have a few racks of Eurorack gear that is sitting on top of my drawing table and preventing me from doing any artwork right now. And it's purely a mental block produced by something physical sitting in the way. So every time I look at it, I'm like, I should probably just sell that gear off. But then every time I do set it up and play with it, I'm like, I love this stuff. It is so much fun to work with. And I don't know. I've been moving more and more lately into valuing having more desk space though. So the Dirty Wave M8 definitely not going anywhere. MPC Live definitely not going anywhere. SP404 Mark II not going anywhere. I'm still enjoying the Ableton Move, but I don't know that I got to give Ableton probably 6 months to kind of see where they go with it. But no, here, I'm going to turn my camera sideways. You guys can laugh. The MPC is currently stacked sideways so that I could make room for my laptop so I could do this stream. So no, I am, yeah, with it set sideways, I can't use it as a stand right now. Don't worry though, I have another video posted that will be coming out within a week where have gear sitting on top of the MPC showing how to set things up. It'll happen. If that is a request you want, then absolutely feel free to ask for more gear demos with on top of the MPC Live. I'm happy to do that, even though I love my MPC. So it just tends to be the thing that has the most cables connected to it. And with more space on my desk, I can at least move the MPC Live out of the way. The current problem I have, though, is I've got the TRS outs on my SP404 Mark II into the MPC Live, and the cables are maybe 3 feet long, and for me to every time I keep pulling the SP404 Mark II down over here, I can see the cables, those TRS cables are a little strained because it's pretty tight. So I don't know. I got to rethink my desk and how I got stuff set up. And you guys are more than welcome to laugh at my own self-inflicted pain. But yeah, I packed up all my Chase Bliss pedals, which makes me kind of sad because I love having those things be something I could reach out to. But I'm like, you know what? I need to value some simplicity and space in my life more, at least for right now, and kind of see where I go with it, I guess. So that said, I'm interested to see how the OPXY fits in. The M8's probably going to be my daily driver for a while when I'm mobile, but I think I'll probably be investing a lot of time in the OPXY, which makes me have to say, sorry, Ableton Move over there it's right here. But as much as I dig this thing, and I already have like, I don't know, a good 20 or 30 tracks on it, I will probably start taking the time to render them out someplace or just bring them straight into Ableton Live to mess with and see. To the folks that are questioning the synthesizers on the OPXY, I don't know, everything I've seen so far has been, I've liked it. Let's switch back to engine. I haven't even gone through all the engines yet. I do suspect this is going to have a similar, I'm not say problem, but similar relationship to the OP1 field where you've only got 4 knobs. Maybe there's shift values underneath them that you can edit things. But that can end up leading to not having a whole lot of sounds. I guess the FX is tied. That's interesting. Okay, so the FX might be tied specifically to the synth. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's just dig into a couple other ones because that makes me understand why people were saying the FX chain in this isn't quite so great. Same. Oh, we have an amplitude and filter envelope. That's nice. So this must be... off. What am I misunderstanding? Oh, it's whether the filter's on and off. Okay. So we basically just have a high pass, low pass filter. And that's probably, is this the same for the drums? Well, cow lovers, I apologize. You're going to have an OP1 field if you want cow, I guess. Because cow, if you're not aware, makes everything sound weird. You too can do that if you have an OP1. So it's only what? If you go on Reverb, $1,200 to $1,500 to get 1 or 2 extra sound effects. So, okay. Go to aux. So we've got delay, we've got reverb, chorus delay, distortion, lo-fi, phaser, reverb. I'm hoping we can route which send these go to. I don't know how to do it yet. What is the OPZ way of doing? Oh, you gotta hold down a button that I don't know which it would match to. Weird. I'm getting a spam call. Okay, ignore that. Okay, cool. It is under master. I think it's totally fine to treat the teenage engineering stuff satirically. partly I wonder if some of these things were created as a joke or bet or something, but turned into a business that it actually makes sense. So, um, I don't know, Andrew. I mean, I think uh, I think there's plenty of like cool thoughts and ideas in it in these that people haven't. Other companies maybe haven't either gone after or embraced a whole lot. So, um, as not justifying them or the expense or anything else in any way, but I do think there's plenty of cool stuff you can do with them. I am certainly far more of a MPC and SP404 guy, but I absolutely do enjoy messing around with this stuff and forcing myself to learn new things. So, um, yeah, I mean, they're also on the flip side not for everybody. So, but I do think the OPXY is probably going to be more what people expect it to be than the OP1 field. All right, let's see what we can do here. It's too much delay. I mean, Cow just has so many like what I would call happy accidents in it. The terminal's actually pretty cool too if you're into like that lo-fi sound. You get some pretty really nuts bit crushing on it. Anyway, I guess I've been at this for 2 hours, and I just realized I need to go grab lunch. So I will say, guys, thanks for stopping by. Always feel free to ask questions and anything else. As I said several times, definitely go check out DiBiase's forum if you're up for doing like it's not a beat battle. There's like not any like real winners or prizes or anything, but every couple of weeks they'll post up a sample and let folks go to town with it. Super fun time. Does a stream where he plays every single person's video, which at the moment I think he's been hitting about 40 or 50 submissions, and I don't know how he goes for 5 hours straight, but absolutely, I'd say go check him out. It'll be fun. Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And peace.